Hi guys, and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is, of course, Cameron. Breaking news: Anwar El Ghazi has signed for Everton Football Club. The club have just confirmed it literally minutes ago on their official Twitter. The Aston Villa winger has signed on loan for the remainder of the season. The club didn't mention any form of buy clause or obligation, but Fabrizio Romano, who obviously we know is a very reliable source and has been following this transfer for the last few days or so, has stated that there is no obligation to buy, but there is an option at around about £10 million should Everton wish to trigger that option come the end of the season. And Anwar El Ghazi is officially an Everton player. Now, obviously, I understand this isn't the most high-profile signing. I understand that it isn't the most exciting. I get that there isn't a lot of excitement surrounding it, but Anwar El Ghazi ultimately has come in to the football club on loan. It's very, very low risk sort of transfer in regards to financial wise. I read the report somewhere a couple of days ago as to state that Aston Villa will be covering a part of his wages, but even if Aston Villa aren't covering a part of his wages, I would assume that he isn't on ridiculous money. As I said, Everton haven't paid a fee for him, and there's no obligation in there. So if he turns out that it doesn't work and he comes to Everton and he doesn't impress and he doesn't improve the squad, then Everton have got every right in the summer to say thank you for your time, shake hands with him, probably release a borderline embarrassing statement as they've done with Luca Dean and move him on. So there is very little financial issue with this transfer. I understand that when it was first being reported that we were interested in Anwar El Ghazi, there was a number of reports to state that Aston Villa wanted around about £15 million for him, and a lot of the sort of fume and frustration come from the fact that Everton could be spending £50 million on a player that struggles to get in the Aston Villa squad and is only really a squad player, if you were like, at Aston Villa. I do think that this signing has maybe suffered a little bit of the old sort of situation syndrome. I don't even know if that's a saying, but we'll go with it. And by that, what I mean is obviously with the Luca Dean situation, and Luca Dean, going to Aston Villa and Luca Dean being one of Everton's most creative players and a fan favourite, and leaving in the manner in which he has left and the manner in which we've spoken about on a number of times over the last couple of weeks. And Anwar El Ghazi obviously coming in from Villa, being a squad player, not really getting many opportunities there. Villa fans don't really seem to bothered about the fact that he's leaving the football club. I think that has maybe put a cloud over the transfer a little bit and formed this opinion that it's an awful transfer and why are we bringing in Villa rejects while we're selling, one of our best players to them and they're a rival, which I understand completely. Of course, I get it completely. But look, the reality of the situation is it's a loan move. So as I said, there's no financial repercussion to it. The worst that can happen is he turns up and he's no good. And if that's the case, then he'll fit right in at Everton, because I can't even count on one hand out or two hands how many players currently at Everton Football Club are no good and shouldn't be here. And if that does happen, then he, as I said, he leaves at the end of the season. There's no obligation to buy him, so Everton aren't tied into any sort of contractual agreement with Aston Villa. And I suppose the best outcome is he turns up and he actually performs really, really well and he impresses. As I said, typically what you find with players is when they come into football clubs on loan, they've got this sort of want to impress a lot more than what they do when they come in on a permanent deal. When players come in on a permanent deal, they've already signed for the football club, they've already got their big contract, they've already, it's done and dusted then. So their performances, I'm not saying that those players don't care or they don't show that they care, but their performances, are sort of, again, there's not as much emphasis around performing well, whereas players are coming in on loan, especially players of the age of Anwar El Ghazi, 26 years old now, so he's not a young player, he's not 18, 19 coming to develop, he's coming because Aston Villa don't quite want him and wanted to sell him but couldn't quite get the money for him, and Everton are wanting to bring him in to sort of see if he can do a good enough job, to see if he's good enough to be a part of this squad. So El Ghazi himself will want to turn up and will want to impress. He'll want to turn up and will want to battle. will want to prove that he can be a part of this squad, because ultimately his goal, Anwar El Ghazi's goal, will be either to sign for Everton in the summer on a permanent deal, or to show enough that somebody else comes in for him, a club that he would want to go to, and sign for them in the summer on a permanent deal as well. Rarely will he go back to Aston Villa and get, more of a chance as to what he's getting now. It's clear that they don't really fancy him. So it's a big opportunity for him to come in and prove people wrong. It's a big opportunity for him to come in and show what he can do and show his quality, and I really, really hope he does that. Listen, there's no point in moaning about it or being frustrated about it or being annoyed about it. I get why it's not the most inspiring transfer in the world. I understand that. On a very base of it, he's a squad player at Aston Villa coming into Everton, which is very uninspiring. No disrespect to Aston Villa, but let's see what he can do now. He's an Everton player now. Let's get behind him. Let's back him. He's come into the football club. He does improve the squad. I have got concerns about what this transfer means for the likes of Anthony Gordon's future. Will it impede on Anthony Gordon's game time? Because, as I said, Anthony Gordon is probably the one player in this Everton side who deserves to be in there more than anybody else. Okay, you've got Damari Gray as well, who you could say the same about, but certainly in regards to recent performances, Anthony Gordon would be the last player I'd be taking out of this team for anybody. And I understand those people saying, we don't need a winger. I'm completely of that mindset as well. To be perfectly honest with you, I think a winger was probably, fourth, maybe fifth priority on positions we need to improve on, this January transfer window and in the summer as well. I still think we desperately need a centre-back. If I'm being honest with you, I still think we desperately need a centre midfielder, maybe even two centre midfielders. So a wide player, a winger, when you think of the players that we've got at the club, the likes of Townsend, Iwobi, who I know isn't a fan favourite, but he's still a winger who plays for Everton, Gray, Richarlison, Gordon, Dobbin, obviously, it puts big question marks about how much more game time he'll get, for the rest of the season. I would assume that the decision to bring in Anwar El Ghazi almost sort of solidifies the club trying to get, Lewis Dobbin a loan move, which probably mightn't be the best thing given he's out of contract in the summer, and he might just turn around if he doesn't get the game time and say, do you know what, I'm just going to go and sign for somebody else. But as I said, my only real worry about this, and I think it is the only big worry about this, is how he fits into the Everton side. Anwar El Ghazi isn't going to want to have joined Everton to be a substitute player who comes off the bench every now and then and a squad player, because that's what he was at Aston Villa, and he wasn't happy doing that at Aston Villa. Now, yes, it's great for the squad, and if he comes in and can do that and can come off the bench in the last 15-20 minutes of games and win us games, he's proven to be a match winner before. He scored the winning goal at Goodison Park for Aston Villa last season to win that game. He's won many a games and he's turned up in many a big games and done that as well. But again, as I said, will he be happy doing that? I highly doubt it. He's going to want to come in and get an opportunity. He's going to want to come in and start games and prove that he's good enough to play in this Everton starting 11. And where does that leave the likes of Anthony Gordon, who definitely doesn't deserve to be dropped? Now, if you were saying to me, yeah, but Cam, what's going to happen is Anwar El Ghazi's going to come in and, Anthony Gordon will still start games and El Ghazi will come off the bench and provide that energy and determination, in the last sort of 20 minutes of games to get us through. And then some games, El Ghazi will start and he'll just be a squad player who improves the squad. Then I'd be relatively happy with that. But what I don't want to see is Anthony Gordon, specifically Anthony Gordon. I say Anthony Gordon because Richarlison isn't going to fall down the pecking order, obviously. Dominic Calvert-Lewin isn't going to fall down the pecking order, obviously. Damari Gray isn't going to fall down the pecking order. Andros Townsend might be, maybe, but again, he's got a personal relationship with Rafa Benitez, and we've known from the Rondon situation how far that goes, so he unlikely is going to fall down the pecking order. So when you look at El Ghazi coming in and you're thinking, well, whose place is he going to take? Anthony Gordon is the one that I worry about most. And that would be very, very disappointing. But it mightn't be the case. The manager might say, no, Anthony's still performing well, working hard, battling, getting his head down, working for the team, and deserves to be in the side. And whilst he's doing that, he'll be in the side, and I'll work, El Ghazi around other players, or I'll work El Ghazi around, other positions, or starting in games that Anthony Gordon needs a rest in. Ultimately, it's a loan deal. So as I said, it's not really a financial burden on Everton in any sense of the imagination. He improves the squad. Will he come in and start every week? Probably not. And at the moment, he probably shouldn't until he proves why he should. But But I just hope that we still see more and more opportunities for Anthony Gordon, because that's exactly what he deserves. But let's get into Anwar El Ghazi's first interview with Everton. Then he has done an interview with EvertonFC.com, as every new player does. He said, "I'm really excited. Everton is a big club. I cannot wait to get started. I want to show my quality to my teammates, to the club, and of course the fans. I want to put a smile on their faces. I'm ready and willing to work hard for it, and for all of us to work together. I've met a few fans already, and it's great to see how people live for the club. It's basically their religion." Spot on there, spot on. He said, you just want to give it your all and show them what you can do to make them happy. I just want to focus on working hard, getting in the team, fighting for my place, and with the boys to get Everton where it belongs, that is much higher up the table. We have a really good squad, and I can always score a goal, and in an important moment I can add a lot of value with my pace and technique going forward. I can hold the ball, and I am decent in one-on-ones. I am ready and can't wait. If I can score goals like the one I scored against Everton for Everton," interesting that he mentioned that, "then I will be a happy man. I've played the Goodison Park a few times, and it's a beautiful stadium. It's a bit different than other stadiums, and that's what makes it quite unique. I'm really looking forward to playing there for Everton. We have a really strong squad. The wingers are doing well and have a lot of quality." He then went on to say, "It will be hard work, but competition with others is good, and that is how you achieve great things. I will work hard and give everything I have. That is the least you can expect from a player," which is, again, a massive bonus. And he's right. He's absolutely right. The least you can expect from any player, whether they're a good or bad player, is 100% and working hard, and we need more of that at Everton Football Club. We really do. He then went on to say, "That is what I will start with, and from there, hopefully I'll be able to score goals and give assists." Now, he hasn't had the greatest stats this season, to be fair. I think he's only had 1/goal and assist. Hernandez says the interviewer brought up that goal prior to the answer. That would make sense. I haven't actually watched the interview, I just read it. I think he's only got 1 goal/assist this season. He's only played 9 Premier League games, I believe. He did, to my surprise, actually score 10 Premier League goals last season, which is absolutely fantastic when you think that's more than Richarlison. I think it was 1 less than Sadio Mane, who obviously played in a side that would come very close to winning the league. So 10 Premier League goals, albeit I know people will say a lot of them were penalties. They were penalties, but if you can score 10 Premier League goals for Everton and a lot of them be penalties, then it'll be a success, won't it? We could have done with somebody scoring a penalty against Brighton when Dominic Calvert-Lewin lashed it over the bar. So, I appreciate people saying, yeah, but a lot of them are penalties, but that means you've got another really good penalty taker at the in the squad, which is impressive. And look, he's saying all the right things, as you would expect. He's coming out and saying he wants to work hard. He understands that that's the minimum that, the club expect. He hopes to score goals and get assists and help the team out, and it's like a religion being at Everton, and that's right. And hopefully he settles in really quickly, and hopefully he can take that sort of, that mood of the football club, not the current mood of the football club, because it's not very good, but hopefully he can take the general mood of Evertonians and how we are and run with it. And I honestly hope, I really do hope he is absolutely unbelievable. I hope that he turns up in every game that he plays in, and he is absolutely amazing. He wins us games with great goals, because we know he's capable of scoring great goals. He's done it before. I hope he battles, he works hard, he shows that desire, he shows that commitment. And as I said at the start of the stream before, ultimately, for Anwar El Ghazi, it will benefit him most by turning up every week for Everton and being a fan favourite. Because if he does that, then Evertonians will get behind him. There'll be a lot more, of a chance he'll sign on a permanent in the summer. £10 million, okay, he'll be 27 then, and there's inconsistencies, and I get that. But if he works hard, he scores goals, he wins us games, then obviously he's got much more of a chance of signing in the summer than if he doesn't do that. So it's not like he signed on a permanent and he's now thinking, right, I've got a cushy contract here, I don't really have to do much. He'll be thinking, where's my next stage in my career? I've got a loan to Everton now. If I can go there, work me bollocks off and prove that I'm good enough to be at a club like Everton, then maybe I'll get a contract on a permanent and this will be my future. If he can't do that, then he's going to go back to Aston Villa. They're going to want to, move him on, and other teams will be looking, thinking, well, he couldn't do it at Everton, and Everton were pretty poor at the time, so why would we go in for him? So it benefits Anwar El Ghazi as a player to perform, to give it 110%, and to really, really shine in these next few months as an Everton player. And obviously, that benefits Everton massively as well. Not saying it will happen, and I understand that it's not the most, it's not the most inspiring signing we've ever made. I get that it's a signing that most people will look at and go, oh, all right, fine. But as I said, no financial repercussion, only a loan deal. If it works, brilliant. If it doesn't work, we move on. And again, as I said, we've got to get behind him now. He's saying all the right things. He is eligible to play on Saturday. Everton, his website has announced that he is eligible to be part of the squad on Saturday against Norwich. It'll be interesting to see if he is part of the squad for that game as well. Be a great start, wouldn't it? Norwich are a really, really poor team, a team that are conceding goals left, right and centre. It'd be a perfect start to his Everton career if he could get on in some form against Norwich and impress and score goals. And hopefully, as I said, it rises the level of everybody else in the squad. Hopefully Anthony Gordon now is looking over his shoulder thinking, I've got to perform 10 times as good now. I've already been pretty good, but I've got to step it up another level. I've got to score goals consistently. I've got to create chances consistently because I want to show the manager and the fans that I'm the one that should be playing. Hopefully it does the same to Damari Gray and Josh Townsend. I'm sure it'll do the same for Alex Iwobi. Maybe, potentially, probably not, but maybe when he comes back from, obviously, on the African Cup of Nations. So, again, good competition in the squad. No sort of financial burden with the signing, and hopefully he comes in and is absolutely excellent. I get that it's not very inspiring. I understand the frustration behind it, but he's an Everton player now. Let's get behind him, let's back him, and let's see how it goes. Let's get into some of the live comments before we finish then. Ananda says, did you get a chance to watch the interview? I haven't watched it, but I've read through it. That's why I didn't know which questions were asked and which questions he basically just answered himself. Hurrah, a world-class player, says Philip. Andy says, not the big name we all wanted, but we've got to get behind the lad now. Could turn out to be a decent signing. Yeah. Mark says, Elpin Gerrard paid the Dean wages. Will says, good business to be fair. Happy we didn't spend a lot of money on a backup for Gray. Yeah. Back again, Cam mate says, bright, I am. Amanda says, what did a lot of fans think of Gray and Townsend, and what do we think of them now? Let his football do the talking. I agree. Peter says, to be honest, didn't want him, but he's now on loan. He's better than Iwobi. Jack the lad says, what about Richie? Most important for me. He won't. Anwar El Ghazi won't put Richarlison's place in the team up for debate, in my opinion. When Richarlison's fit, Richarlison will start, and rightly so, because he is, for the last 2 years, been one of our probably our best player, certainly in the top 2-3 of our best players, so I don't think it'll have much on Richie. Ed says, if he settles in quickly, do you think Gordon will struggle to get game time? 5 players playing 2 spots. Well, that's me worry, but again, if he settles in and he does really, really well, then that's then down to Anthony Gordon to step his game up, isn't it, and do really, really well. What I don't want to see is Anthony Gordon's game time being sacrificed to sort of settle it, because he doesn't deserve that. Anthony Gordon, he deserves to be playing every week. Paul says, would rather spend wages on a centre-back or a centre-mid. Me too, mate, me too, to be honest with you. Again, that's one of the only other issues I have with it, is I really, really don't think another winger was necessary, but there you go. Let's hope that we do get another centre-back and a centre-mid in before the window closes. We need Limpard and Kanchelski is back, says Barkley. And Anders says that interview brought up the goal. There you go. Would love another Gravison, says SR. Yeah. Bobby says he's god-awful. There you go. Bitcoin Bear says, who needs Sky Sports? Cam is your go-to man for EFC news. Is right. And if you agree with that, hit that like button, please. And please do subscribe. That only takes a second. Nicky says he's got to be better than what we have seen this season. Get behind the lad. Spot on, mate. Top correct says, Aston Villa fans who slander El Ghazi have no shame. Hernandez says, ultimately, I'd rather have El Ghazi than Iwobi. Well, there you go. Steven says, if he's played as a 10, I don't think he will be as bad as a touch like a Barkley for me, and it's been a piece in our midfield we have missed since Barkley left, that player that can move the ball forward. Well, let's hope so, and let's see where he's played and which opportunity he's given. James says, Dean is gone, El Ghazi is here, let's get on with it. Centre-back, centre-mid and centre-forward now. I agree. Playing a 4-3-3 now, says Humdinger. Well, we don't know. We'll wait and see, won't we? It'd certainly be interesting to see where he fits in. Paul says, might be a number 10 role, which we need, maybe. And Liam says, Cam, do you want Patterson starting on Saturday? I do. Whether or not he will, I'm not sure. But again, coming up against a really poor Norwich team, you know, this should be a good opportunity for him to start and show what he can bring and show what he can give. And I actually expect him to start, to be honest. I do. Again, I'm not saying he will or won't, but I do expect him to start. But we'll wait and see on that one tomorrow. I'm sure we'll hear more from Rafa Benitez in his pre-game press conference tomorrow. But anyway, there you go. That is it for this one. Anwar El Ghazi is an Everton player. He is signed on loan until the end of the season. There is no obligation to buy, but there is said to be an option worth around £10 million. Let us know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. One thing I think we can all agree on is he's here now. Whether you're happy or you're not happy, get behind the signing, get behind the player, and let's hope it goes well. Massive thank you to everybody for joining us live. Really do appreciate it. I've got the hiccups now, which isn't great. If you have enjoyed this one, please do hit that like button. If you're watching the YouTube video, leave your thoughts down below, and we'll get involved with as many of them as we possibly can. Not terrible business on a loan, just needs to find consistency, says Will. Decent signing, says Football Edit, and Semi says El Ghazi is a blue now, so I'll back him, simple as is right. Massive thank you all for watching. Really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this one, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues. Cheers for watching. See you after.